Check in with Amy. Amy, you're in downtown Greenville. We're starting to see the rain pick up a little bit more behind you, and we are expecting more rain across the area.
Yeah, it's going to be a long evening, isn't it? We're going to keep watching that rain and how it's impacting the flooding situation. Malachi, thank you. We want to head back to our Scotty K, who's at the Crown Point Apartments, where we've seen so much tremendous damage, people packing up their stuff of what's left after their places were hit by the high winds. Some of the residents there, Scotty K, talking about their windows literally being blown out when this thing hit.
Absolutely, Amy. We've gotten several accounts of what was going on here. People were actually inside their homes when this happened, and it seems like the further we venture into this apartment complex, the more damage we're seeing. We're now at the back of the apartment complex, where you can see these trees have been uprooted. If you live in this back portion of the apartment complex, chances are if you aren't here, you're not getting back here. This is where the crews have not been yet. You can see the trees are still down across the parking lot and the roadway here. Crews are working diligently to make it all the way back here, but again, there are numerous trees down in this apartment complex. Just almost every single building here impacted by this storm. Not every unit, but definitely every building. And as you mentioned, Amy, folks have been working their way through, trying to get what they need out of their apartment, making arrangements for somewhere else to stay tonight, as this has just absolutely left a huge mark on their homes. We've talked with several neighbors. Just spoke with a neighbor a second ago who says this is the second time his apartment has been impacted. He's only lived here for 2 years. Said that his apartment building caught fire about 2 years ago, and he was forced to find somewhere else to stay for a little while. Now he's got to find somewhere else to stay because of this really just big mess here. And of course, you can hear the chainsaws in the background. We've got crews working, trying to cut up these trees and get them down. If you'll take a look, though, you can see this is going to cost a lot of money. This is some expensive damage. We've got several buildings out here with trees just laying on top of them. Lots of cars damaged, lots of damage everywhere. We saw some parents bringing their kids home from school, showing them everything. The looks on these kids' faces, really sad. They don't know what they're going to do, where they're going to go. They are just trying to work their way like us through these trees, going into their homes if they're allowed to go into their homes. Some residents have been told not to go back into the buildings because of the structural damage. So they're getting what they can, and then of course looking for an alternate place to stay tonight. And like you mentioned earlier, Amy, there are some shelters opening up. Some folks are staying with family members and friends, but this is just absolutely devastating. And this is definitely, again, the hardest hit area that we're seeing on the west side of Spartanburg.
Scotty K live today in Spartanburg with that tremendous damage, those trees, the chainsaws buzzing in the background. Thank you, Scotty K. Of course, we're going to keep an eye on the situation there as those families cope with that. Can you imagine being a kid coming home from school and seeing that?
You don't even think about that, but thank you to Scotty K for bringing that home to us, because, a lot of the schools were let out because of the weather, no after-school activities. It's just a scene for us to watch play out in this aftermath, but for a child to come home from school and see that destruction, that has got to be a little bit scary for them.
It's been a little crazy on the roads, too, whether or not you encounter the flooding on your roadway or traffic lights that are out because the power is out. I mean, I encountered that on my way, and plus plenty of puddles and hydroplaning scenarios. I mean, it's very scary to drive today.
That's right. Our Tatiana Cash, she is live in our Spartanburg studios with a check on the roads right now. Tatiana.
That's right. When I'm taking a look at the roadways right now, what I am noticing from my maps is the fact that some of the things have increased and gotten better when it comes to there aren't as many crashes. However, checking with SCDOT, the biggest thing they're telling us to do is to avoid unnecessary travel.